Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Wherever the art of medicine is loved, there is also a love of humanity. Cure sometimes, treat often, comfort always. It is far more important to know what person the disease has than what disease the person has. Walking is man's best medicine. Natural forces within us are the true healers of disease. First, do no harm. Primum non nocere. Everything in excess is opposed to nature. The life so short, the craft so long to learn. Healing is a matter of time, but it is sometimes also a matter of opportunity. Make a habit of two things, to help, or at least to do no harm. Illnesses do not come upon us out of the blue. They are developed from small daily sins against nature. When enough sins have accumulated, illnesses will suddenly appear. To do nothing is sometimes a good remedy. A physician without a knowledge of astrology has no right to call himself a physician. Life is short, and the art long, the occasion fleeting, experience fallacious, and judgment difficult. Extreme remedies are very appropriate for extreme diseases. The physician treats, but nature heals. If you are not your own doctor, you are a fool. That which is used, develops. That which is not used wastes away. Even when all is known, the care of a man is not yet complete, because eating alone will not keep a man well, he must also take exercise. The natural healing force within each one of us is the greatest force in getting well. The greatest medicine of all is teaching people how not to need it. The function of protecting and developing health must rank even above that of restoring it when it is impaired. If we could give every individual the right amount of nourishment and exercise, not too little and not too much, we would have found the safest way to health. Foolish the doctor who despises the knowledge acquired by the ancients. The way to health is to have an aromatic bath and a scented massage every day. A wise man ought to realize that health is his most valuable possession. The physician must not only be prepared to do what is right himself, but also to make the patient, the attendants, and externals cooperate. Prayer indeed is good, but while calling on the gods a man should himself lend a hand. In whatever disease sleep is laborious, it is a deadly symptom, but if sleep does good, it is not deadly. Rest as soon as there is pain. In all diseases, first observe the patient's face. Desperate diseases require desperate remedies. Time is that wherein there is opportunity, and opportunity is that wherein there is no great time. When a person desires health, one must ask if he is ready to do away with the reasons for his illness. Only then is it possible to help him. If you are in a bad mood, go for a walk. If you are still in a bad mood, go for another walk. Nature itself is the best physician. War is the only proper school of the surgeon. Look to the spine for the cause of disease. The soul is the same in all living creatures, although the body of each is different. What remains in diseases after the crisis is apt to produce relapses. In the wounds of the head, attention should be paid to the occurrences which take place within the cranium. The eyes are the windows to the soul. Of several remedies, the physician should choose the least sensational. Healing is a matter of time, but sometimes also a matter of opportunity. If it were not for the great variability among individuals, medicine might as well be a science, not an art. The art of medicine consists of amusing the patient while nature cures the disease. Science is the father of knowledge, but opinion breeds ignorance. From the brain, and from the brain only, arise our pleasures, joys, laughter, and jests, as well as our sorrows, pains, griefs, and tears. Declare the past, diagnose the present, foretell the future, practice these acts. As to diseases, make a habit of two things: to help, or at least, to do no harm. Wine is an appropriate article for mankind, both for the healthy body and for the ailing man. The chief virtue that language can have is clearness, and nothing detracts from it so much as the use of unfamiliar words. Those things which are sacred are to be imparted only to sacred persons. A physician who is a lover of wisdom is the equal of a god. A man's life is thought to be short in comparison with that of a crow. The art of healing comes from nature, not from the physician. Therefore the physician must start from nature, with an open mind. The forms of diseases are many and the healing of them is manifold. Persons in whom the mind is affected by disease are only able to hear what is said to them, but have no power of putting it together or understanding what it means. Diseases are sometimes cured by sleep, by watching, by eating, or by fasting. Men ought to know that from the brain, and from the brain only, arise our pleasures, joys, laughter, and jests, as well as our sorrows, pains, griefs, and tears. Health is the greatest of human blessings. Nature is the source of all knowledge. If you are going to be angry, count to 10. If you are still angry, count to 100. It is necessary for a physician to know about nature, and be very eager for knowledge, and always on the search for it. Even the worst experience can teach something, if it is used rightly. As long as there is breath in the body, there is hope. A severe disease requires a drastic remedy. Observe all and correct a little. The natural forces within us are the healers of disease. The physician must be able to tell the antecedents, know the present, and foretell the future, must meditate these things, and have two special objects in view with regard to disease, namely, to do good or to do no harm. An imbalance between rich and poor is the oldest and most fatal ailment of all republics. A wise man should consider that health is the greatest of human blessings, and learn how by his own thought to derive benefit from his illnesses. Things that are holy must be revealed only to men who are holy. For this is the great error of our day, that the physicians separate the soul from the body. In order to cure the human body, it is necessary to have knowledge of the whole of things. All diseases begin in the gut. Life is short, the art long, opportunity fleeting, experience treacherous, judgment difficult. Each of the substances of a man's diet acts upon his body and changes it in some way, and upon these changes his whole life depends. In whatever part of the body there is a considerable loss of blood, the parts below it will become cold. The physician should not treat the disease but the patient who is suffering from it. The soul is the same in all living creatures, although the body of each is different. The greatest error in treatment is to be too zealous. The brain contains in itself the power that produces the phenomena of life, and it is that which sees and hears and knows everything. A body that becomes completely dry is more apt to become sick. Whoever wishes to investigate medicine properly should proceed thus: in the first place to consider the seasons of the year and what effects each of them produces. A physician's mind should always be receptive to new ideas. If we could give every individual the right amount of nourishment and exercise, not too little and not too much, we would have found the safest way to health. A good diet and exercise can make the body healthy, but it is the mind that must remain strong. Medicine is the only profession that labors incessantly to destroy the reason for its own existence. If someone wishes for good health, one must first ask oneself if he is ready to do away with the reasons for his illness. Only then is it possible to help him. The seed of all diseases lies in the mind. The human soul develops by learning and grows stronger by practice. A physician without knowledge of the soul is like a torchbearer in the dark. Understanding the mind is the key to understanding illness. The best way to avoid a disease is to prevent it. One should rest often to recover strength. Healthy eating habits are the best way to keep diseases at bay. A balanced mind will always lead to a healthy body. In health, the physician can do little but support nature's healing process. Everything in moderation, excess brings disease.